And this, my friends, is my new car. Let's get into it. Well, welcome back. It's been a long time. However, a lot has happened since my last video, or our last video. Guys Talking Cars, we'd appreciate it if you'd take a few moments to like and subscribe as usual. But today I am bringing to you my brand new car that I've had for a couple of weeks now, and that is my 2024 Audi S4. And I'm going to show you around, give you some specs, and talk about why I purchased this and the other cars that I may have considered. Let's start under the hood. What a beautiful layout. This is Audi's very well-known 3-liter turbocharged V6 mated to an 8-speed Triptronic transmission and its legendary Quattro all-wheel drive system that has beautiful shifts, beautiful sound coming from the quad pipes, and puts out a healthy 349 foot-pounds of torque and 369 horsepower. Now, some say, oh my goodness, it's not the B58, the legendary B58. But let me tell you, I have had the B58 motor. I've had a 340i, and I now have a Audi S4. And I will tell you that this is plenty of power, and my butt says I'm not feeling much of a difference. Car and Driver, Edmunds, Kelly Blue Book, whoever, they review this car somewhere between 4.2 and 4.4 seconds, 0 to 60. If that's not fast enough for you, well, then maybe you should be shopping a different segment. And on all four corners, you get the 255/35 R19 Potenzas. These are absolutely beautiful, wrapped in these Audi Sport wheels with the red Brembo brakes. This is part of the Performance S package that gets you also the adaptive suspension, which this car has. And this vehicle comes with the black optics package, which gives you the blacked out Audi emblem in the front and back, with some other blacked out options, including the front lip splitter. And this one also comes wrapped with lots of carbon fiber on the caps. One of my favorite things about this is the subtle yet stylish carbon fiber wing. Here's the blacked out emblems in the back. And onto the inside view, one of the nicest places to be. Many call this a monochromatic interior. Ooh, so I call this elegant, upscale, top-notch fit and finish from the German luxury sport car. I have had, as I've said before, a BMW 535, M345 X3s, and this is one of the best cabin finishes I've ever been in terms of quietness, configuration, layout, and just fit, finish, and feel. If you're 6'3" like me, you're gonna have a hard time sitting back here. This is not one of the reasons why I bought this car. I'm gonna be spending most of this time by myself, but I have had my wife and my daughter back there, and they were very, very comfortable. I love the bolstering on these seats. In the back, you get your climate control. You've got a USB-C and a USB outlet. Beautiful, beautiful quilted finish, Napa leather, and of course the legendary Bang & Olufsen system, which I have to say is one of the best in my opinion. So here I am, actually almost 6'4", plenty of headroom, plenty of leg room. I love the A-pillars, they're slim. The view, rear view mirror, side view mirrors, excellent visibility. The seats are super comfortable, 18-way adjustable, heated but not cooled. With this particular sport seat, you have to get the other one. Again, carbon fiber. I'm not a big fan of the piano black, but it's minimal. The carbon fiber across with the continuous vent. I don't mind the MMI screen. A lot of people are like, oh, it's dated. And you know, here's what I like about this. And it's one of the reasons why I bought this. First of all, it's gorgeous. It works great. It's fast. It's a beautiful screen. I love the 12.3 inch digital cockpit, one of my favorites. but it still has buttons. Climate control, they feel amazing. I can turn off things. I can click them without having to go through the user interface. One of the biggest things, and people will be like, oh, it doesn't matter, you'll get used to it and it's fine. I didn't like the M340i, the newest generation, big screen, and not have the ability to just quickly turn a volume up. You know, I get it on the steering wheel, but climate control and everything went through the interface. I didn't like that as much. So that was reason number one. Reason number two is I think the interior in the Audis are better. I know, I'm going to get pushback. I think they're just the next level up in terms of fit and finish, elegance, styling. You just feel like you're in a special, special car. Now, so I've kind of led into this a little bit that I was entertaining two cars, the 2025 BMW M340i, which speaks for itself, has a legendary motor. I ordered it as an X-Drive. This car, the Audi S4 and the M340i, almost identical in price tag, $69 and some change. On purpose, of course, right? These are German rivals. If you want, in my opinion, an amazing daily driver that is incredibly comfortable, but can wake up and give you all of the performance that, in my opinion, you're ever going to need. This thing is very quick, sounds very good. This is your car. Plus all-wheel drive. In my particular elevation, 3,000 plus, I'm going to need all-wheel drive on occasion. I think that's fine. I just found that the inside, the drive seemed a little bit softer. Now, the counterpoint to that is it doesn't have the sharpness of the M340i. And you can tell there's a little bit more of an edge. It's a quicker car, the M340i. It is faster, no doubt. But we're talking, you know, a 3.9 0 to 60 versus a 4.2 or a 4.3. I mean, come on. A 4-second plus 0 to 60 is very, very fast. And again, by the seat of my pants, it felt very much like my M340i. I love the sound system. I love the seats. I love the gear shifter. I'm not a big fan of these buttons, these little clickers that were on the M340i. A lot of clicky, kind of weird, gimmicky buttons. At nighttime, this thing looks so good on the inside. It's got lights, and hopefully I'll give you a little screenshot here. It's got, you know, this ambient lighting. It's got this S4 light that shines down when you open the door. It's got a nice, not a huge panoramic, but a nice size sunroof. I'm not a big sunroof guy, so it'll probably stay shut most of the time. The steering wheel. I really like this steering wheel. It's got from the 10 to 2, the 10 and 2 position all the way through. It's got this nice perforated leather feel. It has a great thickness to it. It's not too big like the BMW. Now, I do miss the flat bottom wheel. I think they missed out on that. I thought that was a cool feature. They did away with it, but then they added that to the M340i. Now, here's what it came down to, because you know me, I'm shopping a deal, right? So I drove this in October of 2024, and I've driven both of the cars back to back, and I had the opportunity to take delivery on a 2025 M340i that just came in. She said she had it in the system. I modified it to my like, and I was basically going back and forth on these two cars. And in my head, I said, you know what? I'm going to go with whoever wants to give me the best deal. Because at the end of the day, if you're buying a $69,000 car that you could easily just reach into a bag, and if you pulled out either one of these cars, you're a lucky guy. Like, I'm a lucky guy to be sitting in this car. And for all the nitpicking at this level, oh, it's not this, it's not that. Come on. A $69,000, sports sedan. At this level, I'm a pretty lucky guy. So I felt that either way, I was pretty lucky. And it came down to, I had pros and cons on both cars that were pretty equivalent. And I said, you know what? I could be happy with either one of these. So it came down to who was going to give me the best deal. So here's how it rolled out. So October, I drive it, silent for a few months. They call me, hey, you still interested in this car? I realized they only had one and that it could go anytime. And these are pretty hard to find. These are not like 330i's or 340i's where there's, 10 sitting on a lot. I feel like these are much more scarce in terms of, rarity in terms of finding these. So at least in my shopping experience. So I waited, and all of a sudden I see on the website that they had a $5,500 national incentive on the Audi. And I was like, that's a big deal, because the BMW dealership would not budge $1 on the MSRP. And I knew that from the get-go. So it's like, okay, and they didn't have any incentives. So I was like, okay, $5,500. Now we're talking. So I gave him a call and we started talking. And then I got down to the payments, and I was like, I don't want an $1,100 payment. Can I afford it? Yes. But it just, the way I was raised, and I'm like, I don't need to spend $1,100 on a vehicle. Just kind of against my own personal. So I was like, not going to do it. So I walked away again, and they kept bugging me. They were like, what's it going to take? What's it going to take? So I basically negotiated kind of an insane deal. So here's what it came down to is I knew the price point that would do the math for me, right? They're always like, what payment? Well, I already knew what the math was. In order for me to get to the payment I want, they'd have to give me the car for about $60,000, which is like never going to happen till now. And they wanted to throw in this maintenance, $2,000 prepaid maintenance, because Audi Care is pretty expensive. Oil changes and all that, they could be $350. So when I started negotiating, they kept throwing that in there. So I said, okay, here's my payment, which was right around $60,000 MSRP, and you're going to throw in the maintenance as well. And I just threw it back to them because they kept asking, what would you like to see? And I'm like, well, here's my wish list. And I kid you not, I threw that to him, and this was in January, and about a half hour later, I get a text that says, okay. I was like, so the car was $69,000. They gave me $5,500 from the national incentive. They discounted it down to $60 and some change, and threw in a $2,000 prepaid maintenance. And there you go. So I did a 3-year lease, 12,000 miles a year, and basically got about $8,500 off the car, which in my opinion, in this class, in this category, I have never, ever done. I would have been happy with $1,000 off. Like, you just don't get discounts on these luxury cars. So I feel like I did pretty good. And if you guys are like, oh, BS, I'm happy to share numbers, but I'm not going to sit here and BS you. So that's what it is. So at the end of the day, it came down to who wants my business more, and Audi wanted my business more. Now, next time, maybe I switch back, but this is how I roll. This is my money. I'll invest it how I want. I'll spend it how I want, and I'm going to get the best I can for those dollars. So there you go. So what do I think so far of a few things? I've had the car about 2 weeks, about 400 miles. I filled it up once at the gas station. You're going to get about between 21 and 29 miles to the gallon. This is not going to be an economy type car. I am not lead-footed, but I will tell you this car is incredibly quiet, balanced. It does have a softer feel to the steering, even when you put it in dynamic mode, but it is so quick and it sounds so good on the upshifts and downshifts. So far, it's a dream, and I think I'm going to really enjoy this car. All right, so now I'm going to wash my car because it's dirty for my liking, and I won't bore you with that, and then I'll come back when it's nice and clean, give you some walk-around shots of a nice clean car and my final thoughts, and we'll wrap this up. And just like that, she is back to her full beauty and shine. Wow, what a beautiful design, subtle, upscale, just a nice looking car. Hey, whatever car you guys drive, take care of it, enjoy it. For me, the next 3 years is gonna be with my Audi S4. Next week, window tint. After that, I'll keep you guys posted on mileage update and my thoughts through the journey of owning this car. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time, guys talking cars, this is Shane.